Good afternoon from Europe. It's the mid of the London session. Piotr here. My pleasure to be with you to make the update. Been thinking, well, what should I say? You know, from the technical perspective, that's gonna be the challenge because there is a market is full of the panic. It's not one black swan, at least two already. And what I'm talking about, the one thing is of course the coronavirus cases. The second thing is the OPEC mismatch, OPEC, you know, or let's say it's trade. It's an oil trade war. Saudi Arabia and Russia looks like the full throttle. So, well, it's not only US and China when it comes to the trade war, it's also the oil war between Saudi Arabia and Russia. Well, we have few limits down on the indices. The oil been limit down, been halted quite a few times. Well, you know, I've seen many different things and many horrible things when it comes to 2008, but I haven't seen something like this, to be honest with you guys. I'm 20 years, doing 20 years this stuff, and it's ugly. So, well, once again, the lower exposure I'm discussing here with you every time, quite playing well. Well, last Friday I've been even trading the Nasdaq to the long side, and don't forget, guys, you can check my trades. I'm doing all the strategies at one account. I've been explaining this, so you can check all the trades I've been trading. Link is in the description. I've been trading even long Nasdaq, right? It was like 100 points or so. I don't remember it, but now for me it looks like it was a year ago, right? Based on what we have. I've been thinking about some shorting stuff, but well, been thinking maybe after the weekend, but it's no way after the weekend. Anyway, let's have a look what we have based on the charts. You know, that's gonna be the challenge to trade today, especially that I do expect some coordinated intervention within the next 48 hours. So without a further delay, let's have a look what we have on the particular charts. Well, oil as the biggest loser, right? We were trading as low as 27 or even below 27. If you remember my predictions, we were talking. I wouldn't say that we were talking. It was like, you know, the discussion what if, right? And I've been talking about 42 and 29 on oil, right? Didn't expect it going to materialize that fast, but come on, it's not that bad. Now the question is what next with the oil, right? Because it's really shocked the market. Of course, President Trump is gonna be so happy. I might have even problem to try to find on the monthly. Yeah, we are right here right now. Based on the monthly chart, we are testing over under totally to the point, right? From the monthly chart perspective, over under to the point. Okay, so not surprised we see this type of the bounce to the upside, but now based on the monthly chart we have few important levels we broke through overnight, so it's going to be worth to remember about them, right? So, well, yeah, that's how it looks, and I may try to help you try to visualize the things, right? We had this type of the bounces. So looks like, for example, retest of 48 cannot be ruled out. And this type of the move, smaller one, cannot be ruled out, right? Like towards 41. Okay, so that's how I see the things on the oil. The bounce is likely, is possible. Well, probably we need a little bit more information what is going on between Saudi Arabia and Russia when it comes to the oil. So yeah, I'm going to watch carefully. I do expect, you know, attempt to push it lower during the US hours, because I do expect some more panic selling when it comes to the US indices. So I do expect another limit down within the normal working hours when it comes to the indices. So when we are talking about the indices, so a retest of the low, or maybe even this 121, so trying to, you know, even hit more stops and then to make the recovery, for example, right? So that's what is worth to watch. Of course, you have to, with this type of the market, when the volatility is so high, you have to watch higher time frames, right? So I've mentioned indices. So here is a limit down, and especially the monthly candle right here, right now, is ugly. The previous one is ugly. All right, quarter. You can try to imagine yourself how the quarterly candle looks like. So that was the quarterly open, and right now we are like here. Of course, we have the negative body, red one, right? And huge upper shadow, right? With negative body. So it doesn't look good here. A little bit more panic is expected around the US Open, and then I don't know what has to happen to leave the market, right? Short term, it might be some kind of the coordinated action, intervention, right? So from where? Because they are not. I think they are not gonna do that blindly. I think they are not going to do that blindly. So from where? I think we might see somewhere here some kind of the action. Monthly chart, red line. Those shadows cannot be ruled out as well. This one looks juicy. 50% of that range looks juicy, but being tested here. And eventually those upper shadows and wasn't being tested, right? What is important, what we have to remember, that's the Nasdaq, right? But let's have a look what we have on an S&P. We do have limit down here as well. The thing is 2820, right? So that's the 5% circuit breaker, 2820. That's where we are now. So the next breaker, if we are not gonna to see the bounce, if we are not gonna to bounce, so if the limit down is, if we are not bounced from that current limit down, all right, after the cash open and only, not earlier, the next breaker is at -7, which comes at 2764, which is 2,764. And it's a monthly chart, red color is here, right? And in that case, to be honest with you, that's possible. That's possible that we are gonna be here. So it's not gonna be straight limit down buying opportunity. It's gonna be more pain probably towards 2,764, even maybe limit down, but that's gonna be 50% of that range on S&P, and that might be worth to watch. I'm not saying to buy, worth to watch. And if we are going to switch to the lower time frame, if we are going to see some kind of the buying opportunity based on the lower time frame, then and only then that could be the thing to think about the buying opportunity. And the last thing is the dollar. I'm long dollar with this environment. I'm long dollar both euro and cable, right? And this morning I added euro, been trading some cable, but from the intraday perspective I closed that. So I'm building long dollar, even with the yields dropping below 0.5 on 10s, right? I think dollar will survive. And the gold, because that's what you've been asking for, guys. Why gold is falling with this environment? Why the corrections are so deep, right? Because if someone is on profit, that's what I've been previously explaining. They have to cover the margin calls, right? They have on the different instruments. I'm going to watch very carefully what is going on the oil here, all right? 1650, and then of course the lower shadow we've seen here, but right now 1650, that might be some kind of the hand and shoulder formation, tradable, so it's going to be worth to watch. Guys, I'm going to make then an update later today or early morning tomorrow. Well, I guess it's going to be later today once the US Open is once the US cash is open, right? Guys, don't be trapped, lower your exposure, stay safe. Thank you, take care, and see you around.